Hey my everythings, I hope that you all are doing well. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you would like to get notified anytime that new reads are being posted, please feel free to subscribe and also hit that notification bell so that you can get those notifications anytime that new reads are being posted, okay? Definitely helps out the channel. This read is going to be for Virgo. Virgo, I'm seeing that the ego within the spirit of true self is seeking security in your relationships, partnerships, and communities. So take that as it resonates. And I'm also seeing that the spirit of true self is trying to send you some lessons by the way of the experiences that you're going through during the cycle of this read, okay? I'm seeing that the soul is teaching the spirit of true self some lessons in regard to the western and the eastern winds. With the western winds, the soul is teaching the spirit of true self a lesson about the process of circulation. Could have to do with things going on in your bloodline, lifting weights, carrying weight, being able to forgive and let things go with pumping iron. Then I'm also seeing some more from the western wind where the soul is teaching the spirit of true self a lesson about communications, your bloodline, experiences that you're going through in the process of all of that, right? Letting weight go, circulation is, yeah, that's what I'm seeing with the western wind. Then with the eastern wind, I'm seeing that the soul is teaching the spirit of true self a lesson about the perception of conspiracy theories, okay? So I'm seeing like the spirit of true self getting balanced with the ego, the yin and yang. Also seeing the relationships, like how the ego is seeking security in relationships, how all of that ties into the family and the bloodline, communications, and like I said, the perception of conspiracy theories, okay? So with the spirit of true self and all the lessons that you're going through during the cycle of the read, I'm also seeing that spirit of true self is trying to send you some messages as well. The first message being about authenticity. So based on the experiences that you went through during the cycle of the read, the message that spirit is sending you about authenticity is saying that I opened the way of truth, okay? So as you're prioritizing the wellness of your soul, spirit is saying that you're being led by your sense of truth. The numbers 111 could mean something to you. Then I'm also seeing grounding energy. So spirit is saying being well grounded provides a feeling of security. Being grounded in your vision, your sense of projection, protection, respect, love, and elevation. Then I'm also seeing the autumn energy, which is a representation of that season. With the autumn season, spirit is saying that it's a time for letting go and a time to lighten your load. With that being said, I'm seeing that things may come full circle for you in the autumn season, as well as it's with the western wind, the whole process as well. So think about like things that you're doing now and that you're going to be going through the process of doing, also including communications, how the universe and the earthly realm communicates, you know, with the human experiences that are here, the other spirit animals that are here with you as well, that also follow that cadence and that sequence of changes that happen within the reality, okay? So in the autumn season, they're saying that it is going to be a time to lighten things up and let things go, okay? And you may just see that happen naturally because it does happen in nature naturally, right? So some other energies that I'm seeing, the first one that I saw come out is the butterfly energy. So with the butterfly energy, there is that resonance of evolution and growth. Like I said, the seasons that we're in now is spring when I'm doing this read, and the seasons to come, you know, will be summer and then the autumn season. So take it as it resonates. It says evolving and growth, next phase, healing inner child, releasing the past. So during that time, I'm just seeing that also someone, you Virgo, will be going through changes and transformations as well in the seasons to come. And that's natural. Then I'm also seeing the golden mirror in reverse, where you're not in a narcissistic energy. There isn't love bombing going on. Things aren't one-sided. There, like I said, you're in the process and things are flowing gracefully and smoothly. As you're seeking security, the ego within the spirit of true self is seeking security in relationships. I'm seeing that through your authentic relationships, you'll become more grounded in that authenticity and get a sense of security within those relationships that will come full circle for you to be aware of, like, what it is that you need to let go of and what you would like to carry on with, okay? Then I'm seeing the clock energy, which is a representation of taking the time that you need to heal and progressing, okay? So then to bring things full circle, I am seeing coffee cup. This energy represents meeting and talking with someone, savoring the moment, feeling elevated, and building friendships and relationships, okay? So I'm seeing that in that season where you are letting certain things go in the autumn, there will be relationships that you're building up on in that season as well, okay? So what I'm seeing overall is ego is going to get what is, you know, seeking security in by the way of the grounding practices, as well as you being in your authentic version of yourself, as well as that being balanced out with, you know, your relationships and how you're growing from the lessons that you're learning throughout the cycle of this read with the autumn season in mind. I'm also seeing running a marathon as well, because seasonal changes are consistent throughout the year in your lifetime. So you may be feeling like you're running a marathon, or like I said, it could be resonating with how this is a cycle, okay? So the overall emotions that are associated with this read are for you to feel surprised, for you not to be fearful, for you not to feel annoyed, for you to feel content, for you to feel delighted, for you to not feel inferior, for you not to be upset, and for you not to feel forced into doing anything, okay? If you're not familiar with how it is that I do my reads, I do them based on time that has been offered or is available to me for me to be able to share the message with you. So thank you. The time that have been offered to me is the Eight of Rods energy. So thank you. Which is a representation of having all of the energy that you need to be able to get things done, or like to fulfill what is required of you without it exhausting you. And then also the Magician energy to show that, you know, there's a mastery there. So thank you. This energy was received as philosophical, thoughtful, and wise. Also recognized as not melodramatic, not theatrical, not showy, and it's also not a shock that that kind of energy would be offered to me. So thank you. The energy that I see you in for the cycle of the read is the King of Rods energy. So with that King of Rods energy, you are being received as trustworthy, reliable, also spiritual and esoteric, and not rebellious, okay? So in the King of Rods energy, this is someone that prioritizes their household, like their what's the right word? Their providership is the correct word for the King of Rods. So this is someone that stands strong and firm on values of being a provider for a family. The gender is not specific, male or female, though this person is rooted in being a provider. With that being said, let's talk about the cycle of the read. I'm seeing that in the past, during the cycle of the read, you were in the Fool energy. It was showing me somebody that's like really adventurous, going out. Maybe you started a new adventure or you started doing something new. I'm also seeing the Page of Swords energy. So it's just showing me like maybe you started learning something new and you're like very excited and ambitious about being in this energy, whatever it is. You are being received as very gentle with yourself, maybe also with others. This could have to do with the relationship or the dynamic of people that you work with, as well as you're being received as like very comfortable in this role, okay? Then I'm seeing you in the Lover's energy. So this could have to, it's not saying that it absolutely has something to do with relationships, though it's also not saying that it's not about relationships, right? So it could be about business, it could be about work, though it also could be about your personal relationships, your intimate relationships, or your relationships with people that you care about and love, like your family. Like I said in the beginning, the ego within the spirit of true self is seeking security in relationships. Only you know which ones it's talking about. Nonetheless, in this part of the cycle of the read, I am seeing some Lover's energy that was going on during the cycle of the read, okay? This is a very whimsical kind of love. Like I'm seeing someone that's like being swept off of their feet, like someone that you feel super comfortable around, right? Someone that you love. You're also being received as out of the ordinary. Maybe this is someone that you wouldn't usually date. Take it as it resonates. However, what I am seeing is that there's a lot of love involved in the dynamic of this relationship. So if it's someone that you wouldn't usually date, or the things that you and these people or this person love, like what you all have a passion for, is not within a normal what everybody else is focusing on, okay? So take it as it resonates. Then I'm also seeing that you all are aware that you have like a lot of love for each other. This could also be a representation of a divine union, since I'm seeing awareness, okay? Then I'm also seeing the Wheel of Fortune energy. So with the Wheel of Fortune energy, I'm hearing yet again, is the Wheel of Fortune, not the Wheel of Desperation. So it's spinning in a direction towards fortune, for you to feel fortunate. Seeing experiences that you will be grateful for, right? So with the Wheel of Fortune energy, I am seeing that it's turning in your favor and things are going well for you. Like I did say, the authenticity, you being in your spirit of true self, you allowing your spirit of true self to grow with you as you are having these physical experiences within the actual reality, right? So the Wheel of Fortune energy is being received as not frivolous, not dull. You're having an exciting point in time in your life when you're in the Wheel of Fortune energy, and you're also being received as not selfish. Like people are excited to meet you. You're not in an energy of arrogance or rudeness or like being snobby or anything like that, okay? Then the last thing that I'm seeing for you during the cycle of this read is you being in the Five of Rods reversed energy paired with this High Priestess energy. This is showing me someone that is led by their intuition, doesn't necessarily navigate within their reality by the way of all things logical, because some things that are illogical, a person that is intuitive understands, because even the people that think that they know everything still don't know nothing, right? So the High Priestess is led by not just the known, though also the unknown, and that sense of security that comes from within, right? And like I said, with that spirit of true self, the authenticity is like you're being led by your intuition. That ain't gonna lie to you, and that's authentic. And you're also not conflicting with anyone because you are in this high priestess energy. Who wants to conflict with someone that knows about things that other people don't usually know about, right? Because you may know something that they don't want you to know, right? So in this high priestess energy, you are in the Five of Rods energy reverse, where there is no conflict, there is no issue with you, and like no one's trying to come at you or be deceitful or anything like that. And you know, we are already seeing that with the golden mirror energy in reverse, where things aren't one-sided. The dynamic of this lover's relationship that you have, you also grow from it in the high priestess energy, as you know that the ego is seeking security in relationships, both personal and professional, though with those relationships also you spiritually grow to know more about yourself. As you are spiritually maturing, the dynamic of your relationships is not one-sided. You are flexible in the information that you can give and receive. You're emotionally intelligent and responsible. You have a spiritual awareness, and you're guided by your intuition, and you're also not at war with yourself or others. Do you get that? So take it as it resonates. With the high priestess energy and the Five of Rods energy in reverse, you're also being received as like very sensual, very romantic, and also even graceful with how it is that you interact with your spirit of true self, your emotions, and others. You're also being received as not like overbearing, overwhelming other people or others. You're not in an energy of desperation. You're very clear in your intentions. You communicate clearly your feelings and how it is that you move forward in certain aspects. You do things authentically, so you don't feel like you're betraying yourself. And you're like, the relationships and the dynamic of these relationships and you being in that kind of energy, not conflict driven, is very useful. Not just to your own existence, though, to everyone else's. So let's talk about your future. In the future, I'm seeing the world energy for you first, which is a representation of the fact that everything in the universe is conspiring to build you up, not tear you down. So you will be seeing synchronicities, all types of things that just seem like they're coming into alignment because you're in alignment, right? You're being received as meek, making space and time for others, and you moving out of the way for the fulfillment of your dreams and your aspirations to come into fruition. You're also being received as very attractive, very cute, like you are the perfect person for the position or the role that you've been called into in your own life, right? So then I'm seeing that you will be in the Two of Swords energy. This is going to be a time where your faith is tested, or I'm seeing like something that has to do with like your faithfulness may be tested. It just depends on which resonates with you. Faithfulness in regards to your relationship with God, or faithfulness in regards to your relationship in general. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why I say you take it as it resonates. Because this has to do with trust, the Two of Swords energy. I am seeing that in this Two of Swords energy, you are being called to walk by faith and not by sight, right? As you can see, that's how she's moving, by faith and not by sight. And she's defending herself in the only way that she can. And this is a big point in time where your emotions are doing what they are supposed to do. We human beings are, let's just call it, hardwired with emotions to help us discern, though also our emotions are centralized around navigating ways to protect us, right? So with the Two of Swords energy, like I said, you are going to be called to walk by faith and not necessarily by sight, because your faithfulness is being called into action. And with the conspiracies energy, with the Eastern wind, where the soul was teaching the spirit of true self a lesson about perception, about conspiracy theories, that is what I'm seeing is strongly influencing you being in this energy in the future. Because where else would those conspiracies come from other than the world? Now, at the same time, the world is conspiring to uplift you. It's also conspiring to give you information about the different truths of just humanity in general. And let's just say it's not all their fault. And how your emotions respond to it is also not your fault. But what you can do in this moment in time in your life is do what you're being called to do and walk by faith, not by sight, and give yourself grace. Just seeing that that is what you will do. Like, you will be led by treating yourself with grace. And if this has to do with the dynamic of faithfulness in regard to someone else externally or others externally, you will give them grace as well, because there's an awareness that human beings in general are vulnerable. And you know this. So what do vulnerable people try to do? They try to protect themselves. So I'm just seeing that you also have an awareness of like God source energy with the world energy. So you made space and time for these other people to be vulnerable around you as you understand your own vulnerability. So give grace to yourself, give grace to others, and just take it easy. And I'm seeing that this may have to do with a personal relationship because it's coming down from the Lover's energy. And also considering the fact that we are the source of what we're experiencing. Soul teaches spirit of true self a lesson, and the ego seeking security and what it seeks security in our divine existence, right? All the three different parts of what make us what we are. With this Two of Swords energy, you are being received as very calm, very cool, very chill, also fresh, new, and genuine. So, and not insulting. So even as you're growing and being more secure in the roles that you play in your relationships and the dynamic of how secure they can be, your authentic self also knows that with the world energy, you made space and time for that growth. So now is the time for you to bloom, because you know seasons are changing. It's going to be time to have fun, celebrate your growth, be grounded in the authenticity of who it is that you are, and who it is that other person or other people are showing you that they are, and stand strong in being able to support them if it's really love, right? So that's just where I'm seeing the whole faithfulness thing, and I know that you'll overcome it because I'm seeing the way that you will respond to it, and it's in a healthy way, and it's in a very human way, right? So then as far into your future as I can see, especially with that clock energy, is showing that it's a time to heal and for you all to progress, and then you will be making new memories. You'll be building friendships, trusting people more. And the icing on the top of the cake is that you will be in this Ten of Pentacles energy. The Ten of Pentacles energy is financial satisfaction, financial fulfillment, like being financially stable and abundant. So money is not the issue. Okay? You are being received in this energy as very strong, brave, satisfying, also luxurious, and you're also being received as honorable. I'm seeing that that's something that you're working towards when it comes to your future, is being received as honorable, right? So not getting caught up in a whirlwind of dissatisfaction because of financial challenges. Though, by the way of the experiences that you're having, being financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and mentally mature and secure. And that just puts you overall in that energy where you are reliable as a King of Rods energy. Okay? So, and I'm seeing that that's understood, and it will be understood, especially in the future, come autumn season, where you will let certain things go and you will thrive in, you know, all that you've gone through and all the ways that you've changed. Okay, so to you, Virgo, I say thank you all for joining me. Even if you're not a Virgo and you join me, I love you all so much, and I hope that you have an amazing day. Till next time, bye.